Welcome to the vlog. Hi, my name is Autumn. I'm a reader and a writer, and today we are going to be doing some writing. Super excited for this video. Cannot wait to give you guys some pretty solid updates on my writing expectations for myself this year. We're going to do a little bit of writing, working on my high fantasy project called Project Ice, and what I'm feeling, what I'm doing in life right now. I cannot remember where we were the last time I did a writing vlog, like kind of where I was in the story. But if this is your first vlog with me, I am currently working on draft 2 of my high fantasy adventure. It's called Project Ice. I wrote a first draft, reread that first draft. I realized I could really expand on this story, on this world. I had some other really fun and cool creative ideas that I wanted to incorporate into this novel. So I re-outlined the story. It took me a little while to re-outline, restructure, because the main plot that I had of draft 1, I realized it was more of a subplot. When I restructured the story in the outline, I made a lot of changes, When I'm saying I'm working on draft 2, what I'm basically doing is expanding on my outline. So I'm not exactly drafting words, paragraphs, complete chapters or anything like that. This morning I did about 2 hours worth of work with this story. I worked a lot on the magic system. I know I've said in the past that the magic system and the world building, those are going to come later, but I am on chapter 37 out of 55. I needed to have more of a stronger foundation of the lore, the magic system, because this magic system is very intricate. Everything kind of evolves from this magic system and like the lore of the story. So I was like, I kind of need to brainstorm a little bit before I continue to outline the story. So I spent 2 hours this morning working on the magic system. I am feeling like I'm on a roll and I really just want to sit in my office and work a little bit more on my story. So let's go ahead and get set up in there. I can talk to you guys a little bit more about this project. I said that we were going to talk once I got into my office, which we are going to do because we're walking back that way. But I also just wanted to say I really needed a creative reset. I feel like in my last video that was a writing video, I was like, I need a creative reset. The thing is, it's true. I really did need a creative reset, not only like for today, but I feel like I've been so abstractly thinking. I've been so go between like working full-time, going to school full-time, and I'm actually in my last semester of grad school. Sorry, you're probably hearing all of like the noise of me moving my camera, but I did take a part-time research job with the university where I can potentially have published public health articles. So I've been working on that as well. I have to raise you all the way up to the top because I'm 6 foot tall. I've been so, I don't even want to say overwhelmed, but you know when you just enter a phase of life and you just feel like you're doing everything that you need to do, but it's sometimes not the things you want to do. I've missed being creative. Once I finally get back to being creative on a regular basis, and it's just not kind of like sporadic whenever I have time, or like today, I was feeling a lot of burnout, like physically, mentally, all the things, but I had to call out of work. I just need a break. I raised my desk because I am actually going to stand for the next writing session. It might be 2 hours, it might be 1 hour, I have no idea. I just plugged in my phone charger. I did a little bit of writing this morning. I don't want to like spoil too much, but I have a magic system in here and it feels, I don't want to say it feels complicated. It required me to do a lot of brainstorming around it. This magic system from the original first draft, it didn't have this type of magic system. Although I like the magic system I had in the original story, I just don't think that magic system fit with the story I was trying to tell. But this magic system, I freaking love it. I had a bunch of fragmented ideas that I've been thinking about for a little while, and when I sat down to work on this story at the beginning of the week, I did a few chapters, and that's when I was like, okay, I think I need to think a little bit more about the magic system in this story, and think about how it's tying into like the choices my characters are making, because I want this to be a character-driven story. My mouse isn't working because of course it's not. Okay, so I am on chapter 37. I just finished 37. I'm on 38. This chapter follows one of my all-time favorite characters, and I remember I stopped here this morning. I took a little break because I was like, I am going to have to write something that happens to my favorite character and I'm not ready to do it. But now I'm here, I'm ready to do it. I'm on chapter 38 out of 55. If you follow Save the Cat Writes a Novel and you follow the beat sheet, I am on the All Is Lost beat. I don't know if it is in Save the Cat, I can't remember. Because my story is told in multiple POV, it's also high fantasy, so it's very dense. I had to break up All Is Lost into several chapters. We are in All Is Lost, but we have 2 more chapters until we enter the Dark Night of the Soul. And then the next chapter actually is a character who's not halfway across the world, but these islands are on the southern part of the map, which is another thing I kind of need to lay out a map for the story. I have vague ideas of where things are in my head, but I don't have concrete of like, this is where this person is, this is where this kingdom is, which that comes later. I just kind of have like, okay, these people are in the north, this person's in the west, these people are in the east, and then they're in the south. And then there's some like water and landmarks around. That's how it is in my head right now. But these 3 islands are in the southern part of the kingdom. Then the next chapter, which is chapter 39, it follows a different POV, and she is more, I say west, but like she's kind of like northwest from these islands, kind of more in like the center of the mainland. In this All Is Lost, she realizes something that is kind of like, oh crap. And we're also going to learn about what happened on one of those 3 southern islands. I am going to get back to writing, and I will check in with you guys, I don't know, whenever I'm feeling up to it. Working, but I wanted to, I guess, just talk about my writing goals or the lack of. On my channel in the past, whenever, you know, we get to a new year, we end the old year, we talk about the highs, lows. I think we talk about the highs, lows, what I did, what I didn't do, and things like that. I didn't do that this year. I felt like if I laid out my writing year on paper, it would not feel great. I know the reasons why I didn't make as much progress in writing. I knew fully well that a lot of other things in life were going to, you know, take priority. And they did, and they are still. Last year made me realize that I don't have to have writing goals. It's good to have goals, it's good to have milestones and things like that, but I think putting those expectations on myself in this phase are not the best. Like in this phase of life are not really the best for me. I'm a very goal-driven person. I love setting goals. I love having aspirations. I love trying to see the bigger picture, but I'm also very much a person that's here in the now. What can I do now? Trying to like balance that for myself can be a little difficult. I feel like in the past, or at least last year, I think I had more casual writing goals. I wanted to write 2 short stories. I wanted to work on one of my other projects, and I didn't end up working on that project. It's fine. It really is fine. And I'm not too upset about it. This year, in 2026, I don't want to put those goals on myself. I don't want to say, oh, I want to write 2 short stories, or, you know, I want to submit those 2 short stories. I'm just going to let whatever happens with my writing this year, just let it happen. I never would have thought that I would have gone back to Project Ice as quickly as I did. Thought that I was going to be working on my thriller novel, which is called Project Getaway. I thought that was going to be the project that took my 2025 year away. I struggled to work with that story, so I switched projects. That made me realize that it's okay to switch projects, and it's also okay if you don't hit those goals. And I'm not saying, oh, if you don't set goals, you're not gonna disappoint yourself. Goals are good, and you should have goals, but sometimes you need to know your own limitations. So that's why in 2026, I'm not really having any goals. I literally just want to write. I want to enjoy the projects that I'm working on, and who knows, in 2 months, I might be like, I wanna work on Project Getaway again, and I will work on that. I also have the first draft of my cozy fantasy, which is called Project Traveling Bards. I love that story. So I have my 3 main stories, Project Ice, Project Getaway, and Project Traveling Bards, that I absolutely love all three of those stories. This thriller, the Thriller Project Getaway, needs a lot more love and care. And I think once I'm in a part, like in a time in my life where I can read a lot more thriller novels and really dive deep in like the psychological part in the thriller, I think I'll be okay. But right now I'm just not there. I'm wanting more fantasy and more high fantasy. For these last few years with me putting goals on myself for writing, I won't say it's not been working out, but I haven't been hitting those goals. I think what I should do for myself and for my own sanity is to not set goals. Use 2026 and maybe even 2027 as a reset kind of writing year, trying to find myself in my writing again. Once I'm past all of the other things in life and getting into a better space personally with work, honestly, that's just like what it is work and school, trying to find that balance and trying to find what I am most interested in doing. I think once I get all settled in the next year and a half, I can dedicate a lot more time to figuring out what I want to do with writing goals. At least for 2026, I'm not going to have, did I just say reading goals? I meant writing goals. I won't have any hard set writing goals. Now, reading's a different story. And I've talked about my reading in a few other videos, which if you're here for the reading journey as well, I'll leave those videos linked down below if you want to check those out. I honestly can't tell you how freeing that sounds to not have, oh my gosh, I need to hit this goal. I need to do this goal for writing and do this and this and this. It feels great to have writing treated as the outlet of creativity and the escape versus like having to sit down and feeling like I have to hit these goals and this goal and then also do all the other things. Maybe next year or in a couple of years from now, we can circle back to doing hardcore writing goals. Once I think I just need a better balance in my personal life before we do anything else with the writing goals. Let me know what your thoughts are on that. If you have any writing goals for 2025 or 2026, you know, what are your publishing goals? What are you thinking about? Like, where are you at currently in your writing journey? Because I feel like currently I'm at a slower pace right now. There are so many people in our writing community right now who are at their high, but there are some of us out there where we're more in like the slower phase of our writing journeys, and that's also okay. I haven't made a ton of progress since the last time we talked working on the outline, but I have been going through the magic system and working through that a little bit more. I feel like right now I'm kind of invested in working on the magic system, the world building, and tying all that to the lore and like the original problem, like the original thing that happened in this world.
If you get the chance, I know I surely would. When you're away, there's a hole in my heart. Feels like a deja vu. So come back soon, you are my missing boat.
Let's chat out here. If you see a mess behind me, you really don't. I accomplished what I wanted to in this video. I got to chapter 42. We are in, I think, Dark Night of the Soul now. So we were working through All Is Lost, and now we are in the Dark Night of the Soul. I cannot tell you guys how much I love this story. I know I said that at the beginning of this video. I think between now and my next video, I am going to try and finish the second draft of this story. I would say that today was a success. I am actually finished writing for the day. I am actually going to go read, enjoy the rest of my day, finish up this second cup of coffee, just enjoy. I definitely needed this day, and I'm so happy I could take you along with me, even if I had called out of work to be here. With that, that is going to be the end of this video. Let me know what you are currently writing, what you're working on in your writing journey. I would love to know because I want to cheer you on. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.